This is a supplementary video explaining the solution to problem 70 and 76 in exercise 6. It's not very likely that these two problems will appear in the upcoming term test 2, but they will be very good problems for the last term test or the final exam. So that's why I feel it necessary to go over the solutions at the list in the supplementary video here. All right, let's read the statement of problem 70. So you're asked to find a parabola y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c with three parameters a, b, and c. Okay, so we need to find such a parabola that has tangent lines of slope 4 at x equals to 1. And we also need to have a tangent line of slope -8 at x equals to -1. And finally, we require that the parabola passes through the point 2, 15. Okay, so this basically means we need to determine the ABCs using these restrictions over here. So let's start by figuring out the slope of tangents. In other words, let's start by figuring out the derivatives. So the derivative dy over dx is simply the derivative of ax squared plus bx plus c. So notice that ABC in this case are constant. So then you could just do the derivative term by term, viewing ABC as constants. What you will get is 2ax plus b and then plus 0. Okay, so this is the derivative at the number x. So in particular, when x equals to 1, so what we get is going to be 2a plus b. And we know that this is the slope of the tangent at x equals to 1. And by our requirement, so we should have the slope to be positive 4 over here. So this will be the first equation we obtain from the restrictions. Now let's look at x equals to -1. And we know that the slope at x equals to -1, the slope of tangent is supposed to be -8. So that tells me that -2a plus b, so this is supposed to be -8. All right, so this is the second equation we obtained from the restriction. Okay, so from these two equations, it should be very easy for you to solve what a and b is. So this is a very simple linear system. And what you are supposed to get is b equals to -2 and a equals to 3. So to see this, all you need to do is sum up these two guys. So that way you get 2b equals to 4 minus 8. That's going to be -4. So that's how I get b equals to -2. And when you plug in b equals to -2 back to here, you get 2a minus 2 equals to 4. Moving this guy to the right, you get 2a equals to 6. And that would tell me a equals to 3. So that's how I get to this solution over here. Okay, so I believe in the test, you should still try to write down the details as just shown over here, but yeah, allow me to be lazy in this supplementary video. Okay, so now that we know the a and b, and what remains is just a constant c, and we are going to use the last condition. It passes through the point 215. So this is telling me that when x equals to 2, my y being a times x squared, so that a being 3, so that will be 3 times 2 squared. And then plus b times x, well, my b equals to -2. So it will be -2 times my x is 2. And finally, plus c. So this is telling me that my ax squared plus bx plus c when x equals to 2, a equals to 3, and b equals -2. So then this guy is supposed to be equals to 15. So that way you will be able to solve that c equals to 15 plus 4 minus 12, and the answer will be 7. So the solution to this problem will be y equals to 3x squared minus 2x plus 7. Okay, so this is the final solution to number 7. Now let's look at problem 76. Suppose that we have got a function which is a degree 4 polynomial, so y equals to x to the 4th plus ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Suppose the graph of this function has a tangent line when x equals to 0. And moreover, the tangent line has the equation y equals to 2x plus 1. And also, we assume that this guy has another tangent line when x equals to 1 with the equation y equals to 2 minus 3x. All right, so these are the two conditions we are given. So now we need to find a, b, c, d over here. Okay, so note that in this problem, we are not just given the slope of the tangent line over here. We are actually given the equation of the tangent line. at the number over here. What does that mean? So here is the conceptual point you should keep in mind. So I will just write it in green. So, so in general, y equals f of x has a tangent line y equals to kx plus b at x equals to x sub 0. So this means the following two things. So the first thing is f prime at the point x sub 0. So this is actually going to be equals to k. So the derivative of this curve at the point x0. So this should be the same as k over here. But moreover, there's another important feature of this guy, because the tangent line, if you recall, so in general, a tangent line basically looks like this. So it will be the line passing through the curve, but with intersecting the curve at exactly one point. So this basically tells me the following. So if this is my x0, and then, well, then the y coordinate of this point, because this point is falling on the tangent line, so we know that the y coordinate of this point is precisely kx0 plus b. But also this point sits on the curve over here. So this will basically tell me the following, that f of x sub 0. So this is going to be equals to kx0 plus b. So this is what we know from the equation of the tangent line. So not only do we know the derivative from the slope of the line, but also we know the function value from the equation over here. Okay, so this is the conceptual knowledge you should keep in mind for this problem. Now let's proceed to solve the problem. So we know that the function has a tangent line when x equals to 0 with this equation. So let's actually see what that means. So first, let's compute y prime. So y prime, it will be 4x cubed plus 3ax squared plus 2bx plus c. Okay, so then, so we know the following, that first at the point x equals to 0, so we know that y prime equals to 2. This actually tells me is that c equals to 2, because if you plug in x equals to 0 over here, all these guys are 0. So that basically means c equals to 2. Moreover, so the function value at the number 0, so if you plug in x equals to 0 into this guy over here, you will see that the first four guys are completely 0. What we get is d. So that ways we get d is actually going to be 2 times 0 plus 1. So this will imply that d equals to 1. So that way we know what the c is and what the d is. Okay, so this is the information we have obtained from one sentence. And from this one sentence, we decided these two parameters, as you could expect. As you could possibly expect from the another sentence, you will be able to determine the other parameters over here. Now let's see what happens if x equals to 1. So if x equals to 1, so then we know that first y prime is going to be equals to minus 3. So minus 3 is the slope of this line over here. Okay, so what does that mean? That tells me that 4 times 1 cubed plus 3a times 1 square plus 2b times 1 and plus c, and my c over here has been known. This is actually 2. Okay, we know that this guy is supposed to take minus 3. Let's simplify this guy a little bit. So if we move 2 to the right, we get minus 5, and we move this 4 to the right, we get minus 9. So what we are getting at is 3a plus 2b equals to minus 9. So that will be the first equation regarding AB we can obtain from the first condition over here. Now let's look at the second condition. So if x equals to 1, so that let's actually look at the function value at the point 1. So that will simply be 1 to the 4th plus a times 1 cube plus b times 1 square plus now my c equals to 2, so there will be 2 times 1, and my d equals to 1, so that will be 1 over here. So we know that this guy is equals to 2 minus 3 times 1. So basically what I'm doing on the right is precisely plugging x equals to 1 in the line equation over here. All right, so this will be the second equation regarding AB, and now let's simplify it. So on the right-hand side over here, I get -1. And so over here, I get 3, and over here, I get 1. If you move the 1 and 3 from the left to the right, what I will get is -5 to the right-hand side. So what remains to the left is A plus B. So that way I get A plus B equals to -5. Okay, so then you will be able to solve from these two equations about AB, and I will skip the process. So what you will get is A is going to be -9 plus 10, that will be A equals to 1. And then B is going to be equals to -6. How do we see that? So let's actually do that. So A plus B equals to -5. That means 2A plus 2B equals to -10. So then if you subtract this guy by this guy over here, so left-hand side 2B is gone, and 3A minus 2A, that will give me A. So on the right-hand side, it will be -9 minus -10. That will be -9 plus 10. So that way I get -9 plus 10, and this is going to be equals to 1. So that's how I get A equals to 1. Okay, so if you plug in A equals to 1 over here, so you move this 1 to the right, so that way you get B equals to -5 minus 1, and the answer will be -6. All right, so this will be A, B over here. Make sure you formulate the answer. So we are asked to find A, B, C, D, and we managed to find it, and A equals to 1, B equals to -6, and C equals to 2, and D equals to 1. Okay, so this is the answer for number 76, and this concludes this very short supplementary video today.